people call me for roles, and I tell them, I'm like, I can't ever do that job because I have to be passionate about what I am selling. I have to believe in it. I have to believe in the CEO. I have to believe in the vision. I have to believe in the executive team. And so for me, that passion and purpose are so intertwined together. But then the second thing that's really important for me is the people.
Yeah.
I have to believe in the people that I'm working with.
Yeah.
I have to wake up every day and say, you know what? I respect you.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Marketing Vanguard podcast. I'm Jenny Rooney with Adweek, and I'm thrilled to be here in Cannes with none other than Dara Treseder. Dara, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so thrilled to be here with you.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you on the podcast. We're doing it in Cannes, of course. We're right along the Quest set. Gorgeous hot day. But this is our special edition Marketing Vanguard podcast lineup, and I'm just thrilled to have you here, Dara. We were just talking about the fact that you and I go back a few years now.
I know, a few more, I think like almost a decade. Yeah.
Well, because when I first met you, you were at GE.
Yeah.
Doing some extraordinary things. You were at Peloton, and you've been at Autodesk now for how many years?
Almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years this fall.
Yeah, so you're beating the odds of CMO tenure. But honestly, I think when people think of you, they think of somebody who has done such an exquisite job of going from, and I know we don't like these silos, but the thinking around B2B to B2C to B2B, I think of influential CMOs in the world, you've done such an exquisite job of basically showing how they shouldn't be siloed and that we need to be thinking about them as more similar than different, and that good marketing is good marketing. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I appreciate hear from you. That is high praise, Jenny.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm going to say thank you so much for that. That's exactly right. Because at the end of the day, a human is making the purchase. And, the same things that make us really focus on that emotional connection, we have to bring that into the B2B space. Because if you think about it, if you bought toothpaste that you ended up not using, okay, maybe you're upset about it. Maybe you leave a mean review on Amazon or something, but you move on. If you make a B2B purchase that costs, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and, that has a negative impact, that could have an impact on your team, a detrimental effect on yourself, on your team, on your company. So B2B purchases are actually a more emotional purchase. One of my favorite statements from our customers are, many times our customers, they meet me and they say, Dara, I can't tell the story of my career without telling the story of Autodesk. And that means a lot to that. I mean, hearing that, I'm like, wow, our software plays such a big role in your career, in your journey. So how do we make sure that our marketing is reflective of that our marketing doesn't just feel transactional, but feels relational?
How hard was it when you got to Autodesk to get the team on board with that kind of thinking?
So, I spent a lot of time getting to know the company before I joined.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time, I think they first reached out to me. I first started having conversations with them in February. I didn't actually start until October. So I spent a lot of time, really understanding the company and making sure that they understood my philosophy and that I was the CMO that they were looking for. So it was funny. Before I got the job, I had pulled together my 100-day plan. And my husband was like, don't you think maybe we get the offer before we send that out? And I said, no, we send that out before we get the offer, because I want them to take a look at that and say, hey, this is what we want. Let's go ahead and give her the offer. I'll look at it and say, you know what? This isn't what we're looking for. And so from day one, I was very aligned with our incredible CEO, our amazing COO, and kind of understanding where they're trying to take the business. And so I was able to be that great partner because we were aligned in what we're trying to do. Because to become, our big thing right now is we're focusing on moving from being a house of brands to an Autodesk branded house. Because many people know our wonderful software, AutoCAD or Revit or Maya, but they need to know Autodesk and understand that whether you're an architect, a construction worker, an engineer, a product designer, manufacturer, in media or entertainment, or you work in creative industries like here, at Cannes, right? A lot of these ads that are winning awards were designed and made with our Autodesk software. So how can we make sure that we are able to tell that consistent story in an authentic way that really connects across industries?
So do you want Autodesk to be known? Is it a purpose-driven brand? Is it a utilitarian brand? Is it a trusted brand? Is it used by many? Is it used by a considered few? When you think really high level, like where does your mind go? What do you want people to understand and sort of internalize about Autodesk?
So Autodesk, our software is used to design and make anything,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's the phones in our hands, the cars, the products we love,
Yep.
it's the buildings and the infrastructure that gets us from place to place, or it's the movies and games that we enjoy, that entertain us. Our software is used to design and make anything. So almost 300 million people will be employed in design and make industries by 2030. That's a whole lot of people. That's a whole lot of people. And all of those people have the potential to be using Autodesk software
Wow.
to help them design and make better.
Mm.
And so for us, our focus is how do we make sure that we let everyone know, whoever you are, wherever you are, if you're just trying to design and make anything, why don't you take a look at Autodesk? We probably have something for you, something that we can offer you.
Yeah.
And so really making sure that we are not, an AutoCAD company or a Revit company, but we're Autodesk, the design and make company. That is the work ahead of us. So that's what I'm really focused on. So when you talk about what kind of brand I want to be a trusted brand.
Yeah.
We want to be a brand that provides our customers with certainty in an uncertain environment.
100%.
And as we see what's happening geopolitically, macroeconomically, a lot of customers are saying, hey, I don't know where tariffs might be, but I know I need to be able to make more with less.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what the sustainability regulations are going to be, but I know my customers expect me to make a more sustainable product, so I want to deliver on that.
Yeah.
And then our technology is that enabler. And one of the things, our marketing is anchored in celebrating our customers.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about celebrating ourselves and saying, look at us, because we're just the enabler. Our technology is just there to empower you, but you are the ones who design and make anything. And so we really, when we think about at the end of the day, that highest order thing is that trust. Being that trusted partner to help you design and make anything, whether it's an incredible building, it's a stage that Rihanna is going to perform on, or it's a game that our kids, are enjoying every single day.
And the reason I asked that question is absolutely I want to understand Autodesk, but more important, I want to understand Dara. I want to understand how you think about it and why, like, how you articulate that. And I think that speaks volumes about you, right? And about your creativity, about your innovation, about how you think about things and how they need to manifest. I do think a consistent thread in your career has been around tech. Listen, Peloton's tech.
Tech, it's absolutely connected fitness.
So how do you think you landed there? And let's talk about what has made you the kind of marketer you are today.
So I sought out technology. So I was born and raised in Nigeria. I grew up there. And I remember when I left Nigeria, nobody was using mobile phones, okay? It was landlines, and, often it would rain and the line, the landline would be cut, then you couldn't access or reach people. And I remember going back to visit, and everybody had a mobile phone. The driver had a mobile phone. The woman who was hawking bread on the street had a mobile phone. And I saw how this transformed the economy. All of a sudden, people were able to send their kids to better schools because all of a sudden, the commerce opened up for them because they had a mobile phone. It was the most real view for me of the power of technology in improving human existence. And right there and then I said, I have got to get myself into technology. It took me a while because I actually started in finance.
Yeah.
I started out in finance, but I said, I need to get back into technology. And that ultimately took me to say, hey, I want to go into business school, but I want to go to a business school that is technology focused. And so I ended up going to Stanford and getting my MBA. And that's ultimately what got me into tech, was being, in Silicon Valley, right? The heart of where all the magic happens, being surrounded by all of that technology excellence, and then really upskilling myself. I said to become I need to be a tech business leader. Yes, marketing and communications and commercial work, that is my area of expertise, but I'm a business leader first.
Yep.
And making sure that I'm a business leader for technology focused companies. And so and that curiosity, I'm very curious.
Yeah.
Like once AI came on the scene, I had all the apps downloaded, utilizing all of it, right? And so that desire to use technology to improve the human existence, that passion drives me. And that's ultimately what led me to Autodesk.
Well, so this is interesting. I've never thought of it this way, but you're a purpose-driven CMO.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And as you build your career, as any CMO would really know, whether they want to acknowledge it or not, you're actually building your own story, right? You're building your own tapestry of who you are, right? As an individual, as a person. And and as a brand, and I mean that in the best way possible, although sometimes that feels silly to say, but you have a story as a marketing leader in this industry. And what comes with that is sort of, I have to think, a self-reflection on what your purpose is, what you've tried to choose to do. You went through that process in moving to Autodesk. It was a very long process. It was a considered choice for you. Talk a little bit about how you think CMOs need to think about. Would you recommend that works for you? Do you think it works for everybody to think more holistically and strategically about the story you're building as a CMO, as a marketing leader? And do you feel like you have advice for others who might be trying to figure out how to make that happen for them?
Yes, I would say, and it's funny because as marketers, we can always look back and say, "Hey, how would I connect the thread?"
Sure. And then you can make it
You
happen.
can make it happen,
Yeah.
But we know when I think about at the beginning of my story, I can't tell my story without talking about my mother and what she taught me. But when I was a child, I was always very ambitious, always trying to do the most, and people would tell me, Dara, you're a lot. And my mom was like, yeah, you're a lot. So why don't you take that lot to a place where people are going to appreciate a lot and make a lot for the world?
And by the way, do a lot of things concurrently, because I would argue what you're doing and what you've always done in your CMO roles is do things, a lot of different things concurrently.
Yes, yes. And that comes with the whole being a lot and doing a lot. I enjoy, and that stems from purpose and passion. Because people are always like, where do you get your energy from? I get my energy from the purpose of the work. Like my 7-year-old is walking around. Yesterday, when we had Father's Day, he was wearing a Tinkercad shirt. That's one of our software products that we make available to, that's being used by over 100, that's being used by lots of millions and millions of people all around the world. And he loves wearing his Tinkercad shirt. He's walking around telling everybody, my mom works at Autodesk. Autodesk helps you design and make a better world. That purpose and passion for me is real. And I can't work at a job where I don't feel that. If I don't genuinely, like, people call me for roles and I tell them, I'm like, I can't ever do that job because I have to be passionate about what I am selling. I have to believe in it. I have to believe in the CEO. I have to believe in the vision. I have to believe in the executive team. And so for me, that passion and purpose are so intertwined together.
Mm.
But then the second thing that's really important for me is the people.
Yeah.
I have to believe in the people that I'm working with.
Yeah.
I have to wake up every day and say, you know what? I respect you.
Yeah.
And you are someone that you are someone who shares the values that I share. You see the world in a way, not exactly as I see it, because we're all different and we all come from different perspectives. So we might see things very differently, but at the end
Just
of
have
the day,
passion for
we
it.
have passion for it and we are centered on the same destination.
Yeah.
Right. And so having that, being around people, different kinds of people, different backgrounds, different disciplines, different viewpoints, different perspectives, but all aligned on how are we going to make the world a better place? That is really important to me. And, I think it's interesting, but, when we think about purpose and we think about passion, and we sometimes leave out the people. But I think the people are an important factor as well. So I think about those three things when I think about my story. When I got an award from Stanford the other day, and it was so many, almost all of my former bosses were in the room.
Oh my God, that's
They
awesome.
came with their spouses
Ah,
and that to me
as they
that's
should.
but
Unbelievable.
to me the people,
Sure.
the people matter. That
Yeah.
connection matters. Our relationship matters. We're not just transactional.
Yep.
But how can I make sure that we're building a relationship that stands the test of time? And so that investment in people, that's been a factor through my whole career, and that's something I care deeply about.
I hope you mentioned Stanford. I hope you're spending time, all that free time that you have, which I know you have none, but at some point someday, I hope you're able to get into classrooms at business schools because around the country, because students need to hear what your story is and what you do and share that passion, feel that passion, because you make marketing look good. You make marketing look meaningful in a way that I just think that we need the next generation to feel that kind of passion around the possibility, the purpose, and what marketing can unlock. Not just for companies, but obviously for people, to your point, and also culturally.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I will again, Jenny, coming from you, high praise. To get this kind of credit from Jenny Rooney, I'm like, you're really taking that energy with me all the way. Thank you so much, Jenny. I appreciate that. And I've had the honor of being invited to teach at Harvard and at Stanford. So I don't get to, it's not my day job, as you know, with these with running marketing at Autodesk is a
job.
full-time plus
And you're a
job,
mom.
right? And,
And you're a wife.
and
All the things.
yes, so I at least try to make sure, especially I oversee our education business at Autodesk. So, Harvard and Stanford, they are customers, right? Their students are using Autodesk software. So I do get out there and spend time with, not just my alma mater, but a lot of incredible schools around the world, to share some knowledge. But, I think that marketing is such an important profession.
It is.
I'm proud to be a marketer, and I think that marketing really shapes society.
Yeah.
Many times we're leading the conversations. Many times we are reminding people of what matters most.
Yeah.
Like when I think about, at Autodesk, like, okay, you could design and make anything, but how could you make it better?
Yeah.
Right? That's a core part of our story. So now all of a sudden, whether you're trying to figure out how to build buildings, how can you build buildings in a way that's better so it stands the test of time if a natural disaster comes, right? Starting to get people to
So
think
many layers.
those things,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think is a noteworthy cause. Okay, I'm not, we're not doctors here. I'm not saying we're saving lives. I'm not trying, you know, I want to be realistic, but the work we do matters. And so I'm proud of the work that we do. Thank you for all you contribute to our industry, because everything you're doing with Adweek, with Marketing Vanguard, I love your podcast. I love hearing and learning from other CMOs and other leaders, because this stuff that we're doing, and it's not about any one person. Like together, we come together to ultimately lift that ceiling, raise the ceiling and lift the floor as we raise society up.
We're here in Cannes, as I mentioned in the beginning. Why are you here? What do you hope to get out of this week? What do you hope to get, and what do you hope to give?
Yeah. So I'll start with what I hope to give. What I hope to give is share the insights and the knowledge of what we have learned from Autodesk as a design and make company, and provide that with the world. AI is on the scene. Everybody's talking about AI.
Everybody.
At Autodesk, we get a really great vantage point into what's happening with AI, because we're covering so many different industries.
Yeah.
But also we get the insight into what's happening for marketers and advertisers.
Sure.
Because, many of the marketers and advertisers are using our products. Yeah. And, we recently did a survey where we looked at over 3 million job listings, and AI as a proficiency and skill has increased by over 640%. I'm going to say that again. 640% since 2022.
Wow.
By the way, this isn't just saying, hey, I'm looking for a prompt engineer. This is saying, if you are a brand manager, I expect you to be AI proficient.
Yeah.
If you're a communicator, I expect you to be AI proficient. If you are in marketing operations, I expect you to be AI proficient or AI fluent.
Yeah.
And so the AI skills are becoming more and more important than ever. And for marketing and advertising, it's actually increasing twice as fast. So marketing is really at that tip of spear. So making sure people understand what Autodesk provides. Our media and entertainment cloud is called Autodesk Flow. And making sure people are aware of, it's an AI-powered cloud that can help you with creating and designing and making incredible creative, and making sure people are aware of that. How can this help you with character animation? How can this help you with that? Sharing that insight and that knowledge is important. Obviously, sharing leadership, my journey. I'm an imperfect human, leading imperfect humans, but I'm here to share what I have learned in my journey that could be inspirational or helpful to people. And then I'm also spending a lot of time with our customers.
Yeah.
It's later tonight, I have a dinner with our customers, and, spending time with them, understanding what are their needs, making sure I'm sharing what we are offering, what we are providing. And so that's, making sure that I'm being there for our customers, meeting them where they are, anticipating their needs, delivering for them is really important. And then what I hope to get is just a whole lot of knowledge. I'm a learn it all. I'm a sponge. I want to, to curiosity. I'm just here being curious. I'm just as curious as the intern.
Yeah.
I never want to lose that intern energy. I want to have main intern energy. I'm not here about the main character energy. I'm here about the main intern energy. You're an intern and you're curious,
Totally.
you're hungry, you don't think you know anything. That's the energy I'm bringing to Cannes. I have main intern energy where I want to learn everything that's going on so I can take that back to my company and continue to do the best that I can to help us help our customers design and make anything.
I love that. And Cannes still is the one gathering spot for the entire industry where I do feel like that's possible.
It's the place. It's one of those things. It's like, you gotta be in Cannes.
Sure.
Because when you're here, not only I'm connected with my customers, I'm connecting with media, I'm connecting with analysts, I'm connecting with everybody. It's like the only space where we all come together.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've loved this year, and by the way, I should have to give Adweek credit, because you have done this really well. It's like, let's not talk about just, hey, I have all the answers, but let's talk about the problems.
Totally.
Let's talk about the problems and then let's co-create
Yeah.
and problem solve together. So I also love that co-creation. And
There's a real summit vibe here.
a real summit
Totally.
vibe, a real co-creation vibe.
100%, where people come together and the answers come through the conversations that people are having here. Any headlines for you coming out of Cannes from the company standpoint?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we are really excited about Autodesk Flow. So, I think anybody who is if you're in visual effects artist, you're using our software to make creative. If people are asking you how are you using AI to make better creative, you come on down to Autodesk Flow. So we have got a lot to offer you. It's our media and entertainment AI powered cloud that can help you get the job done. So check out Autodesk Flow.
Okay, awesome. Last quick question. Who's next? Who should I have on the podcast? Who's one person that you admire that either you know them really well, they're in a CMO role, or it's somebody you admire from afar you've never met, but you're just totally intrigued by their work?
So I admire Jonathan Mildenhall.
Yeah, he's fabulous.
You should have him on the podcast. I think what he's doing with Rocket is amazing. It was like, I didn't know about Rocket. Now I can't stop seeing Rocket everywhere. They are everywhere. So I think Jonathan is an amazing CMO, from his time at Coke to what he did with Airbnb, putting Airbnb on the map, to what he's now doing with Rocket. So I feel like every time I leave a conversation with Jonathan, I'm like, that was some gems. Those were some gems. I need to sit let me sit at your table for a minute and pick up some of that wisdom.
Shout out to Jonathan. I know he's here this week. I think he's a judge, as a matter of fact, which is really exciting. But listen, Dara, thank you so much for joining me. It's always just enlightening, spirited, and energetic to be with you. And I feed off of your energy. So thank you so much, as does everybody else here. So thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Jenny. And thank you and Adweek for all you do for the industry. You are about helping us get better. You are helping us, like I said, not only raise the ceiling, but lift the floor. Thank you, Jenny, for all you do.
Thanks so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Thank you for listening to Marketing Vanguard, part of the Adweek Podcast Network and Acast Creator Network. You can listen and subscribe to all of Adweek's podcasts by visiting adweek.com/podcasts. Stay updated on all things Adweek Podcast Network by following us on Twitter at Adweek Podcasts. And if you have a question or suggestion for the show, send us an email at podcast@adweek.com. Thanks for listening.